stores across Leinster. Surprise yourself at deskelly.ie.
Cold tonight with occasional patches of light drizzle. Lowest temperatures 0 to 4 degrees with frost in places. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
How's it going? Welcome along to Thursdays Off the Ball. Nathan with you until 10 o'clock this evening. So the Ireland team has been named to face Wales at the Aviva Stadium on Saturday. No Tadhg Furlong, no Ian Henderson. We will talk to Stephen Ferris just after 8 o'clock. Rory O'Connor will join us as well with all the latest from the Irish camp. Andrew Porter and James Ryan coming into the side. We will also be talking plenty of football this evening. John Giles coming up as always at 7:30. We'll have Richard Dunn on the football show. We will be talking about Jose Mourinho and Paul Pogba and where has all gone wrong in their relationship and whether it is salvageable. So that coming up. And Billy Joe Padden as well between now and 9 o'clock, looking ahead to the weekend's Gaelic football. No doubt about the big one. Mayo, Dublin.
Big one. The big one, yeah.
Spread's only 3 points. I'm a little bit worried. Mayo are missing about 10 players.
Yeah, I know.
These are the days though where boys become men.
Don't write the boys off, Nate.
These are the days, are they?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is, yeah.
They've been waiting in the wings. Never beaten Dublin since Jim Gavin took charge.
I don't think there's a straw left to be grasped at here, to be honest.
Get the man there just sitting all there nice and cool in the corner there.
It's like, given the amount of players that Mayo are missing coming into this weekend, they're missing 8 players against Galway last time, wasn't it?
10.
Add a couple more now.
10.
Yeah, Durkin and Harrison look like they're going to miss out this weekend too.
It's all about experience, Rich. It's all about giving the lads experience.
These are the things that will stand to you come the Super 8s, come the, I was going to say the 3rd Sunday in September, whatever it is now, the 1st Sunday in September.
We're going to have to come across a new cliche. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not getting along this time. You've been a regular at the Mayo games.
Yeah, I can't go this weekend. Yeah, I've got the kids again. Sorry, yeah.
It's got to be done.
Yeah. I'll watch it on telly, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Castlebar Saturday night. I'm very excited. So you've probably been in many of these sticker albums. Have you?
One or two.
We should have actually, this was ripe for a little deep dive. I'll show you there on camera. Oh, yeah. So this is a new Irish Rugby Trading Cards Collector album 2017-2018. I'm not getting paid for this. It's from Glenisk, who sent in some free yogurts as well to go with it. We're a cheap buy around here.
JP was throwing him down his neck earlier on.
He was throwing him and then just, and literally throwing some in the bin then when he was just, there was a full pack of them. He had about 2 of them. He said, I'm done.
Well, we're definitely getting paid now.
He had 5 of them, he says, and there was 1 left.
Didn't even offer
it to anybody else.
Cheers, man.
Did you collect sticker albums?
When I was a boy I did, yeah. When I was a kid.
What was the first one?
The Panini.
Had you the Italian 90, the big book?
The Orbis World Cup.
Definitely had Italian 90, but I would have had what was the mascot called from Italian 90, Rich?
Chow,
yeah, there you go. I knew you'd know it.
That was a great mascot.
Yeah, it was.
That is the.
I remember Mexico '86 as well. What was the guy who had the big sombrero in '86 as well?
Oh God, you've got.
I had '86 as well. I remember collecting for '86, and I. That probably would have been about the time I would have been starting collect. Mid '80s would have been the first seasons I'd have been collecting the Panini albums.
PK,
yeah, there you go.
Wow, 1990 was the pinnacle.
The Orbis World Cup 90 sticker album is the measuring stick by all other sticker albums.
Well, my entire football knowledge for, I would say, a good 6-7 years was based solely around the greatest goals of all time. Like Gordon Banks' save, I hadn't seen it, I would say, until probably 96, 97. But it could never match what I had envisaged in my head. The imagination of just looking at it on the page.
The diagram with the dotted
exactly,
line,
as to where Pele's header had bounced and how he had managed to just somehow, despite everything, turn it over the top of the crossbar. Archie Gemmel's goal against the Dutch. Oh,
class, great stuff, isn't
it? Was there 25? Was there 25 teams in that album?
25 teams in it. Denmark were the extra team in it. There is a definite reason behind that. The received logic was that Denmark hadn't qualified at the time, or that group hadn't been decided. I think they were in the same group as Romania in qualifying, so they were included in the print run. So that's why you had the likes of Soren Lurby and Jan Molby in your World Cup 90 sticker.
That's great, yeah, I didn't know that.
Despite the fact they weren't there.
I didn't know that, actually, yeah.
I don't know if that's actually true, but there you go. I think it was because the final qualifier.
It's under my bed at home. I always had in my head for some reason.
What?
It's under my bed at home.
Bring it in.
Yeah, I think there's pieces in my head.
Did you
it was somewhere in the attic.
Did you ever complete
because
one?
in my head I have completed them.
Yeah,
I think
my brother. I didn't think I did. My brother completed 2, I think. Yeah.
Well, I used to dream when you're growing up in Ballyhonus in the west of Ireland, in the Wild West in the 90s. Oh, Kev, it was tough, I'll tell you. I used to dream of the day I would be brought to one of those swap shops.
Someone's got laid out.
They used to come to Dublin once a year in April, and they might bring Ian Rush or somebody with them, and you could go and you could bring all your spares and swap them but I could just never get to Dublin for it. I always imagined that we were this fantasy land.
Sure,
where
they didn't build
all
the road
cool
to Dublin
people-
until
All
1998.
the cool people hung out and got to get all their stickers. Yeah, I haven't finished it. I saw it there. I'll bring it in. But it goes through all the greatest players of all time. There's like Alfredo Di Stefano, Ferenc Puskas page. Everything I learned
Hans
about them.
Krankel is in there. It's the first name I ever came across. It's the first time I ever came across Hans Krankel.
You get a
is
good
there.
in-depth geography of Italy.
You do, actually. It tells you. It taught you a lot better than my geography teacher in secondary did.
The Mexico 86 mascot, official definition according to JP, was pique, a jalapeno pepper characteristic of Mexican cuisine with a mustache, a calimote sombrero,
Yeah.
and the Mexican football team colours.
Yeah.
Its names come from picante, Spanish for spicy.
Let's be honest. I don't think they get away with it today.
Probably not. What is the one for Russia?
Oh Christ! They've gotten all these nondescript, like
don't know.
weird quasi.
Do you know what? Not really paid too much attention. Who was the one? Who was the one for the last World Cup in Brazil?
They had these weird looking fox creatures.
Did they?
Yeah.
They had two of them in Poland and Ukraine at Euro 2012, if I remember. And I met the guy. I said a guy for France, Euro 2016, the day of the final, outside.
What? You met the mascot?
I met the mascot.
Yeah.
Smoke.
And I got my photo with
I'd
him.
say there might have been 2 or 3 of those, Nate. Maybe even 5 or 6 different mascots.
Doesn't matter. I got my photo with him, sent him back home to the kids. They were delighted. It was the highlight of my trip.
Yeah.
Anyways, off on a tangent, because look what I got. Zoom right in. It's my very own sticker.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
Fair play.
What does he say?
It's I don't want to. So number 8,
Oh, it's
Connacht.
too close.
Number
Jesus.
8, Connacht. Oh, look at that.
Put it up.
Look at that. Jack of all trades.
That means,
That's my CV.
Jack of all trades,
Right
master
there.
of none. That's what they say,
Well,
Nate.
considering, look at some of the other ones.
Can I just say that picture,
McIntyre.
like that's actually Dave, because Dave is built like
Yeah.
that.
Dave McIntyre, Leinster. What does it say?
He does look like John.
Star
he
of the
looks
commentary
more
box.
and more like John Walters as well. Honest to
I think
God.
he does look like. I thought he looked a bit like Simon Zebo, but yeah,
John
you're right. He
Walters.
looks like John Walters. You see, that could be McIntyre's actual body. That's
Yeah.
certainly my actual
That's
body.
exceptionally
we
flattering.
talk about
That is
those.
exceptionally flattering.
That's not Photoshop. That's not my head attached to somebody else's body.
That is
literally my body.
Is it?
Yeah, I've been gymming a lot, so
Yeah.
it's just that's.
Have you?
I'm a number 8.
You've been going. You haven't doing much there.
Honest to God. See?
Here's
Can't-
Joe
can't
Malloy.
say that anymore.
Here's Joe Malloy. This is, by the way, especially for everybody on Facebook.com.
Who's doing the camera work inside there?
Facebook.com / off the ball up on YouTube.
What does it say? What does it say
Joe
at the bottom
Malloy,
there?
winger. I think it says winger.
Yeah, but
I
what
could
does it
have
say
used
at the
another word. Star of the studio. So he's star of the studio, star of the commentary box,
He wrote
jack
that
of all trades.
Yeah, I hadn't seen yours. I didn't
I
see
don't know
yours.
why I'm giving Glenelg all this free publicity after such
I
a dig.
tweeted Dave and Joe up. I hadn't seen yours. You obviously took yours and hid it away, or kind of kept it somewhere. Did you send one?
He's framing that.
Did you send one to your wife? Send the picture to your wife?
No.
I bet you did.
I didn't.
I bet you did. I saw you taking a photograph earlier
I
on.
put it up online.
Oh, did you? Right.
Hold it up again.
All right.
That's not photoshopped. Don't hold it up again. Is that what JP's saying?
He said, "Don't hold it.
Yeah.
We don't need to see
Anyways,
that
you
again."
can check that out on our Facebook and YouTube page. Anyways, that got me very excited.
Good,
A little
good.
bit earlier on.
Your
There's
own picture.
Are you in that? There's a Premier League sticker book right behind you. 04. Is Kevin in it?
This is falling apart. Hold on.
Take a quick look.
Who are you playing for then?
That's Shane Hannon, one of
04,
our
Everton.
producers' old Premier League sticker book from 2004.
Here
Is
we
he
go.
there?
Beep beep beep.
Has he got the Kevin Kilbane sticker?
Leicester? Christ.
These are very
Leeds.
influential because I got one of these sticker books for Euro 2016 for my kids.
Carzo.
And all he got was Shane Long, and now Shane Long's his favourite player.
Oh, look at the fresh faced young man here. Where's the camera on here? There we go. All there. Just
Just
bring it down.
Lee Ty.
Oh, Lee Ty. I was going to say it looks a bit like Kevin, but I'm fairly sure it's Lee Ty. Wow.
There's Tommy Gravison as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
look
look
at
very,
his face.
very, very young there, Kevin.
Look at his
Did they give you a
little
rating or anything? No.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Anyway. We should probably continue with the shows.
I don't want to. I'm looking at your
This
stats
is great
here.
radio.
I am looking at your
There's
stats.
no stats.
There are
You're going to
stats.
have to get on with the news round at some stage.
It gives them percentages. You can work that one out over there. Joe Schmidt says both Tyke Furlong and Ian Henderson came close to making the Ireland team to face Wales. However, the head coach has erred on the side of caution and omitted both from Saturday's matchday 23. Instead, Andrew Porter starts at tight head and James Ryan will partner Devon Toner in the second row. Keane Healy and CJ Stander both return to the starting 15, having been kept in reserve for the win over Italy. The only change to the back sees Chris Farrell come in for the injured Robbie Henshaw. And despite the enforced changes in personnel, Schmidt says it won't bring about a sea change in their tactical approach.
What can you change? It's a game of rugby. Sometimes we kick, sometimes we run wide, sometimes we go through the middle. I think if anyone tried to analyse what we do, there is a lot of variety in what we do. And I think that the times that we've not quite managed to get the result against Wales, we've probably had as much of the game as they have, and we haven't quite been able to put the game away. But for me, it's another game of rugby where we get the opportunity to try to get as many of those fine margins to fall in our favour. And I just know that the players will work as hard as they can to make sure they do. Do we play slightly differently from 2 years ago? I think anyone who does analysis will say, yes, we do. There are some changes in what we do, and I'm obviously not going to explain them.
So this was the 03-04 sticker album. I'm trying to figure out what all the different stats mean. SR is strike rate, 3%.
It's about right.
W, games won, 10%, drawn 70%, lost 73%.
Is it?
You were with Sunderland the previous season.
Oh, I had a bad spell.
Did you get relegated?
Got relegated to Sunderland the year before that.
Lost 73% of your games, and imagine they're the glory days now.
Yeah, it's true.
And now look at you. Anyway, Celtic's 1-0 lead heading into the second leg away to Zenit St. Petersburg lasted all of 8 minutes this evening. They are currently 2-0 down into the second half of their last 32 tie in the Europa League. Branislav Ivanovic got that goal on 8 minutes, and then Daler Kurziev made it 2-0 to Zenit on 27. So 2-1 is how Zenit lead on aggregate. Arsenal should seal their place in the last 16 of the Europa League later, but Arsene Wenger insists they won't take their task lightly. They hold a 3-0 lead over Swedish side Östersunds ahead of tonight's second leg at the Emirates. Arsenal also have an eye on Sunday's League Cup final with Manchester City, so that has played into their starting 11 a little bit. David Ospina starts in goal. They've then got a back four of Hector Bellerin, Callum Chambers, Rob Holding and Sead Kolasinac. It's Mohamed El Neni and Jack Wilshere in midfield, with Henrik Mkhitaryan, Alex Iwobi and Ainsley Maitland-Niles even behind Danny Welbeck. Kick-off at 8:05, and Arsene Wenger's been trying his best to talk this one up as a contest.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. I agree with you. They were a bit nervous at the start, and we took advantage of it. But after the more the game went on, the more they have shown their quality, and the second half was quite even, and we needed to fight until the end. They missed a penalty in the end, and they are a dangerous side.
Turn your phone off, Kev.
Are there signs in that Arsenal team as to who's going to play on Sunday? He's already said Ospina's going to play in goals.
Yeah, well, there's no Mkhitaryan tonight. Is cup tied, so for the weekend. So he'll start tonight. So there's definitely he won't be in at the weekend, will he? I don't know. I mean, I think in general, you would imagine Czech will start, wouldn't you?
He said already Ospina's going to start.
Ospina's definitely starting, right? So this might be an opportunity to give him a game. Yeah.
Jack Wilshere start on Sunday.
Probably yes.
Yeah.
Maitland-Niles, he'll be back in midfield where he likes to play as well there tonight. There's a lot of changes, isn't there? So you would imagine that he's got Aubameyang, he's got all the big hitters that can play at the weekend. So
it's a big old Sunday. We have the League Cup final, Arsenal, Manchester City, and before that, Manchester United, Chelsea. We're going to be there. I'm hoping to get a little bit of this out of Jose post game.
Scott McTominay, only his second Champions League start. You put a bit of trust in him. Played very well.
Can I argue? Thank you. Thank you.
No more Pogba questions.
That's a question, because I went to the press conference before, and the questions were about Paul, and I think the question should be about the kids.
Thank you very much, Jose, and thanks for the hug.
Thank you.
The reward for not asking a question about Paul Pogba last night, you win a hug from Jose, as Des Kelly found out.
Yeah, it's dominated everything over the last few weeks, hasn't it? Simply as well last night, it certainly heightened with him being dropped. So I don't know. It's a strange one how it's going to go, this one, isn't it? We were even talking last night around the fact is who is actually going to win the battle.
Well, did he accuse him essentially of feigning illness at the weekend? Was that what he was saying in his pre-game comments?
Hinted,
that he says he was ill.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not fully sure about it.
But he didn't actually say, they were probably his words, but he did say along the lines of, he said he was ill, rather than the fact is he was ill. So you read between the lines, I suppose, a little bit, but that's the way I read it. He was alluding to that fact, yeah.
Now, Chelsea obviously disintegrated, and there was the ongoing situation with Iker Cañero and having a pop at the medical staff. And then last night, same thing again about Ander Herrera.
No.
That they had rushed him back. He was told he was fully fit, and he goes off injured after 17 minutes with a hamstring injury. Do you ever win by having a go with your medical staff?
Well, this is when you factor in the Ibrahimovic situation as well, because it seems as if he was rushed back from his knee injury into the starting 11, lasted a very small amount of time before he was taken off again, and this looks like it's the ongoing scenario of players being told already. I think might have been a similar issue with Fellaini, but players being told already and the management being told already, and clearly, they're not.
Was there ego involved in the Zlatan situation? Like, Zlatan loved being able to make the return 6 months ahead of anyone expected, and I am God, and look what I can do.
I saw pictures this week though of him training. So he's been on the training ground, Ibrahimovic. I'm sure of that. Do you know what? Yeah, he can have a pop at the medical team there, but ultimately the questions are asked of the player themselves. Are you fit? Do you feel good? Are you training? So he's obviously had a few days training. He's not just literally been thrown into a game. He's had training. He would have done all sorts of rehabilitation, getting himself right. So ultimately the question is of the player: are you fit? Aren't you fit? And if he's not fully fit, then it's only he's the only man that can answer that question realistically. He's the only one that can feel it. So
can you be 100% sure from training that you're going to be okay for such a high intensity game like it was last night?
Probably yes. I think with when you do train at such a high tempo, but it depends on how many days training he had and how many and the pace on the training. If it was a day before the game, I'd probably say that he probably wouldn't have trained that much, but I doubt that would have been the case. I'm sure that he would have done all sorts of rehab. He would have got to a stage where he would have been doing sprints, straight line sprints. Then he would have been doing the moving offline and things like this. Then he would have been thrown into a training session, probably several training sessions, I would imagine. So he would have had enough time on the field. I would fit. That's what the general rule would be anyway, to assess himself. So I think maybe it's just one of those things. Sometimes you get out there and it isn't fully healed, although maybe you think it is.
Yeah, and they say it's a bad injury, so it could be a couple of months out now for Ander Herrera. A text in from Colm about the stickers, and you mentioned Thomas Radzinski, who was part of that Everton team. Speaking of Tommy Radzinski, there in the Everton team sticker collection, today's the anniversary of one of the most celebrated injury time winners seen at Goodison Park for years, when Everton broke up field from a Southampton corner at the Park end, 1-1. Deep into injury time, Everton badly needing the 3 points. Gravison gets the ball, plays it up to Radzinski, bang, 2-1 Everton. The Gladys Street going mental.
What score was that? Sorry, what year was that?
That was 15 years ago today.
2003.
Not very memorable.
No, I don't think I was there then. 2003. No, I think I wasn't there.
Well, this is bloody awkward.
There you go. So I wasn't.
He was
there.
at Sunderland having the time of his life.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they had a great time at Everton before you arrived, celebrating that goal.
Yeah, was that not the year as well that they finished 5th?
2003?
03, 04? Or would it have been 02, 03?
What one's that? That's 04, 05.
Yeah.
03, 04.
Yeah, I don't know.
You were in that team.
Oh, 02, 03.
You were in that team.
What?
Were you not in the team that finished 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you weren't there then.
Yeah, but I signed that season.
03, 04 they finished 17th.
Yeah, I was
just about survived.
Yeah,
so that would have
been Walter Smith.
Okay, 04, 05 then was when they finished.
04, 05, yeah.
4th.
No.
Was
it 06, was it?
All right, let's figure this out. Was that not the year when Liverpool won the Champions League?
Was it? Yeah, that's right then, yeah.
04,
05, yeah.
Anyway, we got there in the end.
Yeah.
It was,
4th and
you
04,
only
05.
played in it, but it's fine. It's good to remind you of these things. So the golf going on in Florida, Rory and Tiger playing again.
It was wrong. You're wrong anyway. You're wrong, so yeah. You are wrong.
Well, explain.
Well, because it was all 203, wasn't it? If it was 2003.
Oh God.
Because that's that seasons. I wasn't there. Wasn't at Everton.
Okay, I think we're talking about two different things.
Right, okay.
Rory McIlroy has made a strong start to the Honda Classic in Florida. He is currently 1 under par. He had gotten as far as 2 under par with birdies at 3 and 4, but a bogey at the 6th has seen him drop back a shot. Elsewhere, it has been so easy for Padraig Harrington. He's 1 over par. He had a double bogey at the 4th, but recovered instantly with a birdie at the 5th, so is 1 over at the moment. Seamus Power is out on course. He's having a torrid time so far. Is currently 4 over par. It's Sweden's Alex Noren who holds the clubhouse lead on 4 under. Graham McDowell earlier shot a level par opening round of 70. Shane Lowry ended his day on 1 over, and Tiger Woods finished level after a bright start in Palm Beach, kind of levelled off, which was hampered somewhat by a double bogey at the 3rd hole, which would have been his 12th overall today.
Certainly more positive than it was over the last couple of tournaments for Tiger. Seemed to have a bit more control on the tee. Golf Weekly is up right now on offtheball.com. Peter Lowry was in today. Very positive about Rory's game. Just needs to do a bit of work and listen to the right people on his putting, and if he gets it working on the greens, he feels everything else is in place for a couple of months.
Started well the bits that we'd seen earlier on anyway, so he looks like he's hitting it brilliantly actually, yeah. But as you say, that was the old putter last week, Rich.
It is 3-0 now to Zenit St. Petersburg at home to Celtic. Celtic will be heading out of the Europa League tonight. Alexander Korokin has gotten the third for Zenit. They're now leading by 3-1 on aggregate. Gary Ringrose will make his first start for Leinster since early January in tomorrow's Pro 14 meeting with the Southern Kings. He's been released from Ireland duty to take his place in the centre alongside captain Eason Asewa. After his debut away to Scarlets last week, there's a first start at out half for Kieran Frawley, and there's also a joint start at senior level for front row brothers Ed and Brian Byrne. Head coach Leo Cullen says there's no ring rust though on Ringrose.
So he's come through fine. Spent a bit of time last week, even did a match day warm up here in the Scarlets week as well. So yeah, he's good. Hasn't been out that long, Gary, so and he's pretty comfortable with systems, etc. So just looking forward to seeing him play again now. So he's yeah, it's timely, especially with the Rory Loughlin who went off last week as well, so with Robbie's injury on top of that. So yeah, it's a good chance to see him and Issa together now and see how they get on.
Some Munster team news?
Yeah, Andrew Conway and Noel Scannell both been released as well from international duty. They'll start for Munster against Glasgow at Irish Independent Park. Simon Zebo will start at full back in that game, while Dave O'Callaghan makes the first start following a lengthy layoff from a knee injury.
A very special Thursday night rugby coming our way just after 8 o'clock. We will have Stephen Ferris and Roy O'Connor, all the insight from the Irish team camp and reaction to that team news as well. That us done, Richie?
Done.
Alright, plenty more to come from Richie throughout the evening. So it looks as though Celtic heading out of the Europa League, Arsenal in action. Richie will keep you up to date with that and all the golf as well. Kevin is here for the evening also. Richard Dunn coming up on the football show. But up next, as always on a Thursday, it's John Giles.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
In association with the Air Sport app, allowing you to cast your favourite sporting action from your tablet or mobile phone straight to your TV.
The Eason Book Club on The Pat Kenny Show.
This month, Eason recommended 4 books for us. The Melody, a novel by Jim Crace, Restless Souls by Dan Sheehan, Silence Under a Stone by Norma McMaster. And this March, the Eason Book Club Book of the Month is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Bernd Albright, a former POW, comes home from the Vietnam War a changed and volatile man. When he loses yet another job, he makes an impulsive decision. He will move his family north to Alaska, where they'll live off the grid in America's last true frontier. At first, Alaska seems to be the answer to their prayers, but as winter approaches and darkness descends on Alaska, Bernd's fragile mental state deteriorates and the family begins to fracture. We'll review the book from cover to cover on Thursday the 15th of March with Mary O'Rourke, Brian Kennedy and Catherine Lynch.
The Eason Book Club on The Pat Kenny Show, sharing book recommendations with book lovers every month.
Do join us and discover more at News